Why seniors with a good mood tend to live longer. At 82 years old, Walter Jenkins was the liveliest resident at Sunnyvale Retirement Community. Every morning, he greeted everyone with a cheerful grin, cracked a joke or two, and made his daily rounds to chat with neighbors, caregivers, and even the delivery drivers. While others his age complained of aches and ailments, Walter seemed to radiate vitality. One rainy afternoon, Emma, a volunteer at Sunnyvale, sat down with Walter in the common room. She had a notebook in hand and a curious look on her face. "Walter," she said, "I'm doing a project on aging and happiness. You're the happiest person I know. What's your secret?" Walter leaned back, a twinkle in his eye. "Secret? There's no secret. It's all about choosing joy," he said. Emma raised an eyebrow. "Choosing joy? How do you do that?" Walter chuckled. "Well, let me tell you a story. 10 years ago, I lost my wife, Linda. We were married for 55 years. I thought I'd never recover. I was bitter, angry, and felt like life had lost its color. But then one day, I was walking through the park, feeling sorry for myself, when I saw a little boy chasing a kite. He was laughing like he had the whole world in his hands. And it hit me. Life keeps moving, whether I choose to move with it or not." Walter paused, looking at Emma. "So, I decided to move with it. I started finding small things to be grateful for. A warm cup of coffee in the morning, the sound of birds singing, a good conversation. I started saying thank you more often, even when things weren't perfect. And slowly, my mood started to lift. I was still old, still had arthritis, but life started to feel lighter." Emma scribbled furiously, nodding. "But does a positive mood really make you live longer?" Walter leaned forward, his eyes serious now. "Absolutely. You know why? Because when you're in a good mood, your body relaxes. Your heart rate slows down. Stress hormones drop. Your immune system gets stronger. You sleep better. You eat better. And people want to be around you. Social connections are like lifelines. They keep you grounded and give you purpose." He pointed to a group of residents playing cards at a nearby table. "See them? They come here every afternoon, laughing, chatting, sharing stories. Some of them have lost spouses, some have serious health issues, but when they're together, they feel alive. That's the power of a good mood. It keeps you connected to life." Emma looked over at the group, noticing how they leaned in to hear one another's jokes, how they patted each other's hands affectionately. "So, it's not just about being happy alone. It's about sharing that happiness with others?" she asked. "Exactly," Walter said. "We're social creatures. When we laugh together, when we share a meal or a memory, we remind each other that life is still happening, right here, right now. And that's what keeps you going. Not just existing, but really living." Emma closed her notebook, feeling both enlightened and inspired. "Thank you, Walter. I think I finally understand why you're always so cheerful." Walter grinned, eyes twinkling again. "Oh, it's simple. Every day I wake up and ask myself, what's the best thing that could happen today? And then I go out and look for it. And you know what? I always find it." Would you like me to add anything further or adjust the tone or structure? Here's the continuation of the story. That evening, as Emma sat in her car outside the retirement community, Walter's words echoed in her mind. What's the best thing that could happen today? She couldn't shake the simplicity and power of that question. Emma was only 28, but lately her life felt like it was on autopilot. Work, chores, social media scrolling, sleep, repeat. It occurred to her that while Walter's body might be aging, his spirit was more alive than hers had felt in months. Emma decided to do something she hadn't done in a while. She pulled out her phone and called her grandmother, Ruth, who lived a few states away. Ruth was 86 and had lost her husband 2 years ago. Since then, she had become more withdrawn, spending most days alone in her house. "Hi, Grandma," Emma said when Ruth picked up. "How are you?" There was a pause. "Oh, just the usual. Watching the news, sitting here with my cat." Emma bit her lip, recalling what Walter had said about staying connected and choosing joy. "You remember when we used to bake apple pies together when I was little? You'd let me roll out the dough, even though I always made a mess." A soft chuckle came through the phone. "Oh, yes, you'd get flour everywhere, even in your hair. You were a little tornado in the kitchen." Emma laughed, feeling warmth spread through her chest. "I was thinking maybe we could bake pies together again. I could come visit next weekend. We could make a whole day of it. What do you think?" Ruth's voice brightened. "I'd love that. It's been so long since I had company in the kitchen. Your grandpa always said I made the best apple pies. Maybe I could teach you a few tricks he loved." Emma felt a lump form in her throat. It was such a simple suggestion, a day of baking pies, yet it had lit up her grandmother's entire mood. Maybe that was the secret Walter had been talking about. Not chasing after happiness, but creating it in small, everyday ways. After hanging up, Emma sat for a while, staring at the darkening sky. Walter's words resonated again. Life is still happening, right here, right now. How many moments had she let slip by, wrapped up in routine, scrolling through other people's lives instead of being present in her own? The next day, Emma returned to Sunnyvale with a surprise for Walter. She brought 2 cups of coffee and a deck of cards. Walter was sitting outside on the patio, eyes closed, face tilted toward the sun. "Coffee delivery," Emma called, holding up the cups. Walter opened his eyes, grinning. "Well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? What's the occasion?" Emma sat down beside him. "No occasion. Just figured we could play a few hands of cards. You teach me your best poker face." Walter chuckled. "Oh, you're in trouble now. I used to be quite the card shark, you know." They spent the next hour playing cards, laughing, and sharing stories. Walter talked about his days working on the railroad, how he and Linda used to dance in the living room to old jazz records, how they'd sit on the porch swing and count stars. Emma listened, absorbing every word, every laugh, every memory. When the game ended and Emma started to pack up, Walter looked at her with that familiar twinkle. "You know, kid, this was the best part of my day. Thanks for making it happen." Emma smiled, feeling lighter than she had in weeks. "Thanks for teaching me how to look for the good stuff, Walter." As she walked to her car, Emma thought about the visit with her grandmother she had planned, the pies they would bake, the stories they would share. Maybe the secret to living a long, happy life wasn't just about having a good mood. It was about making moments that brought good moods to life. Moments that connected, that warmed the heart, that made time feel rich and full, even in the simplest of ways. And in that moment, Emma decided to make that her new daily practice. Not just asking, what's the best thing that could happen today, but how can I help create it? Would you like me to continue the story? Or does this feel like a complete wrap-up for you? Here's the continuation. That night, as Emma lay in bed, she scrolled through her phone, mindlessly flipping through social media posts. Photos of vacations, fancy dinners, and career milestones filled her feed, but they all felt strangely hollow. She thought about Walter and his question, how can I help create the best part of my day? and she realized that none of those fleeting images held the same warmth as a cup of coffee shared on a sunny patio or a phone call with her grandmother. Setting her phone down, she grabbed a notebook from her nightstand and wrote at the top of a blank page, "Today's best moments." She listed the card game with Walter, her conversation with Ruth, and the simple, unexpected feeling of being present. As she wrote, she felt a deep sense of contentment settle over her, as though she were finally seeing life through Walter's eyes, not as a series of days to be endured, but as opportunities to be savored. With a gentle smile, Emma closed the notebook and turned off the light, already looking forward to what small, joyful moments tomorrow might bring. Would you like me to keep going or adjust anything?